Real Italian flavors are fresh, authentic, and never come in a bag. Like Carando Premium Meatballs. Our savored meatballs are made from 100% pork and blended with zesty Italian herbs, spices, and cheeses, delivering that perfect balance of fresh flavor you crave. From mozzarella rustica to cheesy Abruzzese to spicy Sicilian, you'll find Carando meatballs in the refrigerated meat section of your grocer. Carando. Life is delicious. Savor it. For recipes and more, visit carando.com.
The Big Bark, listen up dog owners, is for you, all you canine lovers. It's your favorite podcast, The Big Bark, with your host Darragh Burke and canine co-hosts Bruno and Milly. The Big Bark.
Hello and happy Easter. A big welcome to The Big Bark, to our Easter special. And you're probably wondering, this guy was only on the air a few days ago. Who in God's name let him back on the air again? And I'm asking myself that same question too. But I decided that since I didn't get a guest fee on Thursday, I was going to do a little Easter special. And today, well, we have a few things coming up today. So, obviously, first of all, I'm joined by my canine co-host, Bruno Milly. I'm Darragh Burke. And you're very welcome to the show. I did that completely backwards, but you know what? That's grand. I don't really mind. It happens. And sure, look, isn't it grand to do things backwards every now and again? But you're very welcome to the show today. And like I said, it's our Easter special. It's Easter is the day of giving chocolate. And we talked a bit about this on our show on Thursday. And how bad chocolate is for dogs. And we were chatting about the column that Pete Wedderburn had in the Irish Examiner on that. Got a few questions back on that. So I wanted to bring in an expert to properly chat and take some of the questions. And, well, just chat about what could happen if your dog ingests chocolate. And not just chocolate, but we all have our roast dinners on Easter Sunday. Lots of people have that lovely leg of lamb. Others have a roast chicken, like myself. But then you have all the side dishes, like the stuffing, the Yorkshire puddings, and everything kind of in between. So wanted to bring in an expert for that. And that's what's coming up a small bit later on. We have Ashleigh Bulger from Trusty Vets here in Limerick joining us a bit later on, and we're really, really looking forward to hearing the advice of Trusty Vets on this. They're a great friend of the show. We've had John on in the past, and we hope to do a lot more with Trusty Vets as we move forward. So, what else is coming up on the show today? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yes, we ran a little competition over on Instagram recently. So we have the winner of that to be announced. And we have a little surprise going on there as well with that winner announcement, which I'm not telling you just yet because, it's a surprise. So, we don't really want to ruin the surprise. And we'll be announcing the winner of that very, very shortly. Also coming up, we have our news segment, which I was thinking to myself after Thursday, what did I want to focus on in the news? News in the canine world, not the news like RTE News or any of that. So, I said to myself, I wanted to focus on the real life stuff going on. I wanted to focus on the really weird, messed up, absolutely crazy news in the canine world. And obviously, the good news stories too. So we have a lot of good news stories out there. And, well, it is what it is. Now, the doggy industry does tend to be quite crazy. And we have, coming up, actually, today we're just going to do the weird and the wonderful. We don't really have any real news per se. not anything that we didn't cover on Thursday. So that's coming up later on. But first of all, let's get our Wheel of Names up. And our Wheel of Names, it's a great app if you ever running like any sort of a giveaway for anyone listening out there. Wheel of Names is what we use. We put all the entries from the competition into our Wheel of Names. So all the handles are people who entered. We have over 120 entries on this Wheel of Names, so it's kind of hard to actually even see it. But that's the first thing I'm going to do today, is give away the 4 tickets to Pups in the Park on Sunday the 1st of May. And that's the day that we're recording. The Big Back will be on stage. I have already requested off the team for Pups in the Park. Will they have a little, a little glass there for me on the table with like a bit of Dutch courage in it. I'm not going to be swinging from the bottom of it, lads, so like, please don't judge me. But talking in front of a crowd, it will be the first time I've actually done any sort of like, I suppose, public speaking type stuff in front of a crowd. So to me, like, that's going to be that's going to make me like have a bit of a nervous moment. I'll put it politely like that. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spin the wheel and I'm going to tell you who our winner is for our, and I have my Instagram open to bring up and see who the doggy is as well, belong to whoever wins. I really hope the person has a dog. And okay, because like it's a dog event. So let's start the old Oscar music, as I like to call it, the fanfare and awards show effecty thingy majiggy. Let's go over this. And the wheel is spinning. And the wheel is still spinning. And the wheel is spinning here more times than Friday over winning streak. It's won it last week. And here's our winner. And our winner for the tickets on Sunday the 1st of May is Jody Mooney 94. So Jody Mooney 94, that's the handle. And let's get a quick look here on Instagram at that. And okay, so who have we got? We have lovely little dog here. I'm trying to determine what the doggy's name is here. So let me just see. A lovely, beautiful dog here. So Jody, her 3 friends, and her dogs are going to be on the way to Pups in the Park on 1st of May, Sunday the 1st of May. So I still can't find anything there on what the doggy's name is. Jody will pop up your doggy's name after we contact you on Instagram, so that the tickets are for you, for your doggy and your 3 friends who you're going to bring with you on the Sunday the 1st of May to Pups in the Park. Congratulations on winning those tickets, and we hope to meet you on the day ourselves. We'll be floating around, so you know, it's all good. It's all gooky, as I say. It's going to be a great day, and we're really looking forward to it. So congratulations, Jody. And now it's time for the Weird and Wonderful. Well, even not the real, because we had real news during the week. So the Weird and the Wonderful. Let's go with that. So, okay, let's start off with the weird. And, you know, I came across this there only yesterday. I like to look up different things online, particularly on the likes of Reddit. And there is a really weird one that I saw, and I'm trying to find it here. Here we go. So this actually, where I first came across this was on the UK edition of The Mirror. And this is just like that bit crazy. Now, like, we know that humans have obsessions, right? And like, a lot of these obsessions are really weird. But have you ever heard of a dog having an obsession with monkey themed videos? So this is the story of a German Shepherd called Sasha, and loves to look at YouTube monkey videos, and Sasha will bark or paw at her owners until they play the monkey themed videos on repeat every evening. It has to be every day. She has to get her monkey fix every day. Now, I, for one, have never heard of anything this bizarre. It's batshit crazy. Like, it's So her owner took to Reddit and explained how the dog Sasha is obsessed with watching monkey videos on YouTube. She said, a few months ago, I was watching some adorable monkey videos on YouTube when Sasha, our 2-year-old dog, came in and was immediately hooked. She was so engrossed in the videos and sat there wagging her tail the whole time. She even got annoyed when I flipped over to something else. So a few days later, this lady mentioned it to her partner to see if it was the monkeys or just a small animal on screen. So they tested it with other animals like squirrels, and they found out it was definitely the monkeys. So yeah, this doggy is obsessed with monkeys. So she happily lays down and watches the video, and she even tries to lick the phone. She tries to lick the phone screen, and she ends up pausing it. So when that happens, she literally paused, no pun intended there, at her owner to unpause it for her. That's very confusing. There's a lot of different pause on it there. It's an unusual obsession because if she doesn't get her daily fix of monkeys, she gets really irritated and really annoyed. Now look, I know Millie gets annoyed when I don't feed her dinner, which is understandable because she's hungry. But I've never heard of a dog who gets angry at their monkey videos being turned off. Another owner apparently over on the Reddit thread said that her dog loves to watch TV and loves any videos with bugs. Now that would frighten the bejesus out of me, any videos with bugs. I'm you might not think about it, I just no, anything buggy or spidery or anything like that. It's no, God no, I can't. So let's see. Someone else said it might be because the dog recognizes the monkey's humanness. So that could be it. So yeah. Then let's see what else have we in the weird. Not really weird, but there is a very good article here, and I might go through it next week. And it is about how dogs sleep and what their sleeping positions will actually tell you. So, yeah, that is quite interesting. They like to be curled up sleep on their bellies. That's what Bruno always does, the back legs and all. Are actually just thrown completely out or side sleeping. I'm going to go through all that next week in our next show. Gotta save that till then. How about we move on to the wonderful? And sure, look, we all know Roy Keane. Roy Keane is, I suppose, has always been known as Ireland's soccer hero. And Roy, if you don't know who Roy Keane is, you've been living under a sports rock for the last maybe 30 odd years. Roy is the former Manchester United captain. He is a former, pretty sure, assistant manager or manager of the Republic of Ireland team. Apologies if I'm wrong on that. I don't follow soccer. I find it boring. But what I do love about Roy is he is also the ambassador for the Irish Guide Dogs for the Blind. And this week, to coincide with the launch of Guide Dog Day, which takes place on Friday, May 27th, the Irish Guide Dogs have announced a new fundraising campaign, and that is to walk, run, swim, cycle, or any sort of sport type thing at all, any sort of activity like that. Over the month of May, they want you to walk 100k for GDD, so 100k for the Guide Dogs. And Roy was on hand in Cork, his home county, to launch the campaign with the guide dogs. He got just some lovely photos on the Irish Examiner here of Roy meeting a little puppy guide dog in training. Who did he get to meet? He got to meet a little puppy in training, and let's see, I saw it there somewhere. He also got to meet a retired guide dog called Rory, and there's some beautiful puppies here as well. The puppy was called Gordon, so Gordon. And if you know anything about like the guide dogs, or like say any of the support dogs, so emotional support dogs and stuff like this as well, they all, each like breed, or each litter I should say, has like each litter of pups has this, like, they all start with the same letter, I believe the names do. So there's some 97 families currently on the charity's assistance dog program waiting list. And fair play to Roy, he always does so much for the guide dogs. If you want to know more about the 100k for GDD, you can sign up at guidedogs.ie. And well, that is the weird and the wonderful this week. We will have the reel back next week as well, so not jigs and reels or anything, just real news for real dog ones. And next up, we are going to be checking in with, as I said, with Ashleigh Bulger from Trusty Vets. So stay tuned for one moment and we'll be right back.
Life is full of delicious moments, like when a big table of friends feels like a big table of family, or when the meal you made and shared brings in all the likes on your feed. That's why Carando offers premium meatballs, delicious, savored meatballs made with real Italian flavors, to help you savor the big and small moments that make life so good. Carando. Life is delicious. Savor it. For recipes and more, visit carando.com.
And okay, joining me on the line now is Ashleigh Bulger from Trusty Vets here in Limerick. And Ashleigh is joining me to talk a bit more about what we were talking about earlier on the week, about what happens if your dog gets a hold of the chocolate Easter eggs that you were really saving for yourself. And we all know how bad chocolate is for dogs, so we'd like to get an expert's opinion on this. Ashleigh, a big welcome to the Big Bark.
Thanks very much, Gary. Delighted to be here.
Good. So Ashleigh, let's dive right in. And okay, so obviously we all know how bad chocolate is for dogs. Would you explain a bit to our listeners what it is about chocolate it is so poisonous for dogs?
No problem at all. So yeah, it's very important to know like how bad chocolate is for your little dog. So the problem with chocolate is that it contains two toxic substances. So the first one is caffeine. So caffeine is really bad for our pets. And the other one is a chemical called theobromine. And what theobromine does is it kind of can act on the heart. So it can, in bad enough cases, it can cause a heart attack. So it's very important that our dogs and even our cats don't get into our chocolate. So the main thing is, dogs are very curious and they have an amazing sense of smell. So they're much more likely to get into the chocolate than cats. It's way more common for dogs to ingest chocolate than it is for cats. The other thing that we need to remember is you can't be sure with the chocolate how much theobromine and how much caffeine is in the chocolate. So we kind of know that dark chocolate contains a lot of it, but we can't forget about baking chocolate. So, for example, baking chocolate can contain 7 times more theobromine than milk chocolate. So things like trays of brownies, chocolate cakes, things like that, we need to be really careful about that. I've had all the cases, so doggies knocking freshly baked brownies off the counter and tucking into a full tray of brownies, that can be fatal, things like that. So the important thing to remember is as soon as you think your dog has eaten chocolate is to phone your vet. Really, really important. If we get them down, ASAP, we can what's called induce emesis, which means we can make them sick and bring the chocolate back up. If we can do that, as soon as possible, often that can be enough. We just bring the chocolate back up and that's the end of the story. The trouble starts when, for example, I had a little doggy a couple of years ago who ate chocolate while the owner was out of the house and they got home to find the wrappers a few hours later. chocolate is absorbed very quickly from the small intestinal tract. Within an hour, it can be starting to get absorbed. And then within a couple of hours, you can start seeing things like vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, panting. And then it can act on the nervous system and cause neurological signs. So you can start seeing things like anxiousness, restlessness, pacing, and then eventually seizures. And then, down the line, a heart attack and possibly, your doggy passing away. So really, really important to be watching out for that.
And you mentioned there, actually, just the ones probably that people don't think about, especially at this time of year, are the likes of the baked products. That's very interesting, because most of the focus for a lot of people will be keeping the Easter eggs away for dogs. But as I said, it's very important to keep all chocolate products away.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even things like hot chocolate, like cacao powder, cacao butter, and even I've had one case of a very keen gardener who was using cacao bean mulch in their garden as a fertilizer, and their dog got into that and got very, very unwell. So it's the cacao bean that contains the caffeine and the theobromine. So anything that could contain cacao or chocolate, we really need to be very careful there. And yes, baking products are the big danger, because chocolate cake is so tasty, and dogs love it, and they'll knock a full cake off the counter and it'll be gone in seconds. Like a big dog will get through, even a little dog will get through a full chocolate cake in a matter of minutes, and that could lead to, and not alone, obviously we've got all the toxic signs, but ingesting something like that, a dog will get pancreatitis, gastroenteritis, they'll be really, really ill.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I suppose, obviously this time of year as well, there's a lot of, I suppose, roast dinners and all going on Easter Sunday. I know there's other foods there that will be on the dinner table that are quite bad for dogs as well. Specifically at this time of year and like Christmas and all, what are the main foods on the dinner table to watch out for?
Absolutely. So the first thing is, human food is not great for dogs, especially nowadays. Most of our dogs are on brilliant diets, really good, nutritionally balanced, dry foods, things like that, and they're doing great on those diets. But then around this time of year, we do like to give our dogs a little bit of turkey or a bit of chicken or lamb or whatever we're having ourselves. But that can cause really bad pancreatitis. So any kind of fatty meats can be really hard on your little dog's constitution, really sets off. We see so much pancreatitis this time of year and Christmas time. So even just normal food that they're not toxic, but they can cause pancreatitis, gastroenteritis, you'll be seeing vomiting and diarrhea, and it's really painful, they'll really be off form. Then the other things to think of that actually are toxins, so things like raisins, so they can cause kidney damage. So things like your hot cross buns, your boiled fruit cakes, that kind of thing, any kind of thing that contains dried fruit, I'd be avoiding that. Macadamia nuts are really dangerous. They can cause kind of seizures, muscle tremors, shaking. Any kind of artificial sweeteners, particularly xylitol, they can cause, seizures and liver failure. So kind of any baked products, they can contain those, or different medications can contain those. Onions and garlic can be really serious. They can cause anemia. Other things like even just like uncooked bread dough, that can expand in the stomach and can cause a blockage. And then obviously then the usual things like chicken bones and bits of bone and that kind of thing that would cause blockages as well. So around this time of year, if your little dog starts having vomiting or diarrhea, just give us a ring straight away.
That's brilliant, Ashleigh. Ashleigh Bulger from Treaty Vets. Thanks so much for joining us on the Big Bark today.
No problem at all. Delighted to talk to you.
Thanks again. Alright, and a big thanks to Ashleigh there, and that nearly more or less wraps up our show for today. But before we go, you may recall at the top of the show when I was talking all about the old competition on Instagram, and I was doing my old bit of daily waffling on, which I like, me, I often waffle, and sure, that's just the way I am, and I don't love the sound of my own voice, but sure, you never know, there could be a lot of listeners out there who find my voice quite soothing, or maybe something that helps to put their dogs to sleep because it's so fucking boring. But let's do the waffle and let's get to the point. I mentioned at the start of the hour that I had a surprise, and I don't know, do I want to tell what that surprise is? I suppose I do. Well, as you know, Jody Mooney 94, the handle over on Instagram, that won our good old prize for the Sunday tickets. So fair play, Jody. But what's interesting is, and this is something that I had not announced because I only got clarification for this on Friday evening. So, when we got the tickets for the Sunday from Pups in the Park to give away, Pups in the Park also gave me tickets for the Saturday and Sunday obviously for the Big Back team to attend, which would be normal because we are recording on the Sunday ourselves. Now, I can't go on the Saturday, so that leaves me with the question of what to do with those tickets. And I was thinking about all that, and I was like, sure, there's no point in tickets going to waste. So what I have decided to do instead is to do a second draw, and there are now a set of 4 tickets for the Saturday, which is 30th of April, and I am going to give those away right now. I'm going to pick a second name from the Wheel of Names right now. So on that note, let's queue up our Wheel of Names and let's get we have all our entries in, so let's get our music rolling here, and here we go. And the wheel is spinning, and once again it's still spinning. Jeez, Bridie has given this a good old spin here. Winning streak, you've just got nothing on you. I hope it lands under 500,000 now, lads. And okay, here's our winner. I now have 500,000, but the winner of the 4 tickets for Saturday, the 30th of April, is Miriam Cronin. So that is a handle that I have here, Miriam Cronin. You are the winner of 4 tickets for Pups in the Park on Saturday, 30th of April. So Miriam, I really hope you enjoy those tickets. Let's see if we can do an all Gawk on Instagram there. And Miriam has a doggy too, and her doggy is, let me just have a look there. Her doggy is in her profile picture. So her doggy is a French bulldog, and I think Jodie's doggy looks like, let me just see, Jodie's doggy looks like some sort of a spaniel, I would think. I'm not 100% sure, because, well, I can't always get it right, but I don't know what either dog is called, but I will announce that on Instagram regardless anyway. Okay, Jodie's dog is called Penny. There we go. That's what it is. Found that in the 4 pictures down. And let's see what Miriam's dog is called. So, let's see. Still cannot see anything here. Actually, I think Miriam could have 2 dogs there. At least 2 dogs. Yeah, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But look, Miriam Cronin, the winner of our Saturday tickets. Jodie Mooney 94, winner of our Sunday tickets. I will be in touch with both of you very shortly to give you your tickets via email, because everything now is virtual and there's no such thing as actually send you tickets to houses anymore and things, because like all the QR codes, technology is a great thing. Well, I think I've talked enough for this Easter and next, and Halloween and Christmas and everything as well. Big thanks again to Ashleigh Bugler from Treaty Vets for joining us to talk all about why chocolate is very bad for your dogs and all the other things to watch out for this Easter. Thanks to both John in Treaty Vets and to Ashleigh as well for doing that on such short notice today, and really, really good of them to do that. Happy Easter to all the team at Treaty Vets. And thanks again to them and their team for their continued support, and they've been always great. And John, I can't recommend John highly enough, or the team outside there. John and his team have been looking after Bruno Milly for Bruno since he was a pup, and has been looking after Milly for pretty much the same as well. They did wonders with Milly a number of years ago. Milly had very bad pyometria, and if you don't know what that is, it's a very serious infection in the womb. And Milly was under the care of John and the team for about 2 weeks. She was with them, and I can't thank them enough for, like, they saved her life, and she's still with us today. So I will always have huge gratitude in my heart, and I'll always have huge gratitude for the team at Treaty Vets because of the work that they do, not just for my own dogs, but for animals right across the Limerick and Shannon regions, because they have the place in Shannon as well. If you're ever looking for a vet around the Midwest region, I highly recommend them. I normally wouldn't recommend individual practices, but look, speaking from personal experience, I can say that I would highly recommend them. And to anyone asking, are they paying me to say that? No, they're not. That is just my own personal opinion, because they have done so much for my dogs over the years. And my previous dog Coco was with them as well, so they've done so much for my own dogs, and they've done so much. My father has been with John for over the years, with many a dog he had before. So overall, that is the end of the show. So you want to follow us, you know where to follow us by now. You should know where to follow us by now. Instagram and Facebook, The Big Bad Podcast is our handle. On Twitter, it's just Big Bad Podcast, because apparently there was too long. So just Big Bad Podcast on Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much. Instagram is the best place to get in contact if you want to. We have our website where all previous episodes can be listened to, and that is thebigbark.ie. We have our Spotify. We are on iTunes. We are on Patreon. So find us on any of those. Just look up the Big Bad Podcast and you'll find us there. And, well, if you want to support us, by the way, you can over on Patreon. We're getting our plans finally ready there. So have a look at that. We're not on the tactic. We're not going to be on the tactic, because I always mess up that word. I think it's backwards. I'm not really sure. But I don't plan on being on it, because it's so bloody confusing. It is so confusing, and I can't use it. Can't use the thing at all. And I am brilliant with technology, but it's just so frustrating and confusing that I have just decided I am not going to be one of the people who jumps on board the next bandwagon. Although, we'll see. Anyway, that's our show for today. Thank you once again to the team at Treaty Vet for coming on the show on such short notice, and thanks to everybody who has listened in today. To our winners, Jodie and Miriam, congratulations. I'll be in touch with both of you after the show to arrange your ticket delivery. And, well, from all of us here, guys, happy Easter, and we'll see you next week.
The Big Bark, listen up dog owners, is for you, all you canine lovers. It's your favorite podcast, The Big Bark, with your host Darragh Burke and canine co-hosts Bruno and Milly. The Big Bark.
Amazon business honors Jill Lau, Chief Procurement Officer of Global Network Bank. Last week, Jill saved big and used Amazon Business to help her team buy 327 headsets. Now Bob can keep his conversations to himself.
Wait, am I still on speakerphone?
With business buying easier than before, Jill now uses her extra time to focus on growing something big. Buy smarter, dream bigger. Visit Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying.
Thank you for holding.
Hang it up, Bob.